And they just, like their parents, they love themselves some money, don't they?
It is interesting how she's exposing her as a yacht girl, someone who was paid off by rich men to go and hang out.
He knows that Meghan Markle was a hoe. He knows that Meghan Markle had a relationship with Prince Andrew. He knows that he is stuck.
The wider picture is half in, half out, doesn't work. And let's look at how are the royal family using and potentially manipulating their role of soft power.
Prince William means business. He's had enough. He wants to clean the monarchy, and it's all now in the hands of the courts. Meghan Markle is in full mode panic along with Harry because they both know what they did.
He would probably try, maybe she was a honeypot for men.
Meghan Markle was clearly someone who, at least for a time, ran in some of the most exclusive circles of the British royal scene. And that means she may have seen things few outsiders could. Those aren't my words. That's attorney David Boies speaking on the record. Right now, Meghan is reportedly in turmoil in Montecito as scrutiny grows over her past connections and choices. A Victoria's Secret supermodel, once a fixture at Soho House parties, has just gone public with an explosive account that shakes everything Meghan has carefully built.
David Boies, who was Virginia Roberts' attorney, who wanted to call Meghan Markle as a key witness in the civil lawsuit against Prince Andrew, were very clear and specific that Meghan Markle was a past close associate of Andrew, and she participated in everything that was going on.
One of us has been quietly tracking the cover-up for 8 years. So again, these words really matter, Lauren, because what she is suggesting is that for 8 years, there has been a cover-up involving the truth of Meghan Markle.
The revelations about the high-profile trips and Meghan's life before Harry, they are jaw-dropping. For years, powerful figures have worked to scrub the internet, hide photos, and keep stories quiet. But the dam has finally cracked. You're about to hear from someone who claims to have seen it all firsthand. Jessica Reed Krause, the controversial blogger behind House and Habit, just announced she's releasing an 8-year investigation into Meghan Markle. She's been sitting on folders full of evidence since 2018.
But this is a woman who drops truth bombs and who always keeps the receipts. And for some time, she has been promising major revelations to come on Meghan Markle, on Meghan Markle's past. A picture of Virginia Giuffre, the late Virginia Giuffre, as a much younger woman, with the words, "And maybe it will make sense now," why VG, clearly a reference to Virginia Giuffre, originally wanted Meghan to testify at her trial, which, remember, we discussed last week, is something that Virginia Giuffre's lawyer, David Boies, had previously gone public to the Daily Beast about.
Collecting accounts, testimonies, and details from people who claim they were treated poorly. Her Instagram stories sent the Sussex squad into full meltdown. Jessica teased what's coming, all the scrubbed info, Soho House insights, photos, and staff accounts. But here's the part that really sent chills down my spine. She posted a picture of Virginia Giuffre as a young woman with a caption hinting at why she originally wanted Meghan to testify at her trial. David Boies went on record with the Daily Beast, saying Meghan could be a key witness in high-profile cases. People magazine covered it back in 2021, and then silence. A total media blackout. But Jessica isn't alone, and this is where it gets even more intense. Her collaborator, Barbara.
To me, that clearly reads, "We have your card marked." That is how it reads to me. And, you know, the public, quite rightly, have a lot of unanswered questions for Meghan Markle. I think Meghan Markle will be panicking because at the end of the day, Dan, things don't make sense with Meghan Markle. That's a fact.
Brings serious credibility. Before dismissing it as gossip, know this. She graced the covers of Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and Marie Claire, modeled for Ralph Lauren, Victoria's Secret, and Neiman Marcus, starting at age 10 and retiring in 2013 after a huge career. Barbara's real claim to fame? Her ex-boyfriend produced multiple events for big-name parties, places Barbara attended, so she saw it all. In a stunning interview, she revealed, "I always saw young models, girls from around the world, just hanging out with wealthy men."
Had they had these standards like 40 years ago, Meghan Markle would have not been anywhere near anybody. She wouldn't have been allowed anywhere. near the royals. But because of what the state that the royal family is in, she was able to sneak in her way.
I went to Soho House a lot in London. It was a scene like Harry was always there, partying. He partied a lot.
It wasn't glamorous. It was a world most people never see. Barbara says one of her closest friends was caught in a terrible situation by big-name figures. When she went public a year ago, people doubted her. But now, after everything's been released, it's far more intense than anyone imagined. Barbara knows Soho House, the yacht scene, and the elite social circles inside out. She even knows Prince Andrew personally. When shown evidence about Meghan's past, her reaction was immediate and harsh. "I went to Soho House a lot in London," Barbara said. "It was a scene. Harry was always there, partying hard. This isn't speculation. This is coming from someone who actually lived that life." The clubs were exclusive, the atmosphere anything but innocent, and Barbara's account paints a side of the royal world we rarely get to see.
Very good authority, I have it, that the royal family have been trying to scrub the internet from Meghan Markle's past, erase her past. They try to claim that they were in New Zealand here, that they're sitting here in New Zealand. So they try to fool the picture that I'm showing you on the left. That's them claiming that they're in New Zealand. There's a problem with that. If you look here where the little hand is, you will see the edge of basically this, I don't know, homage that you have set on this stone. You can see it's literally the same stone seat, whatever. You can see it's the very same background. And that is in St. Bart's, which is literally 120 kilometers from.
It was dark, Barbara recalls. A lot of models were there. The scene was wild. She mentions high-profile guests and VIP treatment, including celebrities like Renee Zellweger. It was definitely a place where big names mingled, where deals could happen, and maybe even secret meetings, she says. Could there have been hidden spaces? I don't know, but it was definitely a scene. Barbara compares it to New York's Upstairs Club, upscale, exclusive, and invitation only. You wanted to be seen there. When asked about Meghan Markle specifically, Barbara's response is blunt. At the time, Meghan was relatively unknown, a C-list cable actress at best. She was just a model/actress, Barbara says. She wasn't a model in the usual sense, just part of the crowd.
Visit is incredibly crucial. This is when Meghan Markle was flown to Istanbul for the weekend, for the opening of the Soho House. And guess what? She was pictured there with these people, Meghan Markle, and with a group at a party in 2015 where she was simply guest, where all the rest were named. Yeah, because Meghan Markle was truly a nobody, guys. She was a carpet filler.
In 2015, Meghan was reportedly flown to Istanbul for the opening of Soho House Istanbul. A photo shows her at the party with several other attendees, all named, but Meghan is simply listed as a guest. Barbara describes her as carpet filler, flown internationally by Ron Beale and Associates. When asked why someone like Meghan would be flown across the world, Barbara's answer is striking. Maybe she was there as a social magnet for high-profile guests, she says. When the interviewer asks for clarification, Barbara adds, "Think Marilyn Monroe vibes, where charm meets networking." Then Barbara shows a photo of Meghan with Petra Neva at a New York fashion show, and suddenly the dots start connecting. To understand Barbara's perspective, you need to know Ron Burkell, the billionaire behind Soho House.
Okay, this is the dots I'm connecting throughout the years of being in my modeling industry. Ron was always around David Blaine. Ron was always around Leonardo DiCaprio and Gisele Bündchen. Ron was always around Michael Jackson. Ron was always with Bill Clinton all the time because my friend worked for the Clinton Foundation.
Most of the time when I had celebrities do events like this, they didn't even bloody stay for the event. They'd had their picture and they'd go. Or, you know, you see them at these like charity events for kids and they're just sat there almost with a tear stick. And then they don't care. These people don't care.
Meghan's former friend, Marcus Anderson, worked for him. And Soho House even named their rose wine after Marcus. Barbara knew Burkell personally. He was always present alongside names like David Blaine, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Gisele Bündchen. Even Michael Jackson reportedly crossed paths with these circles. One friend of Barbara's from Texas worked for a major foundation in her 20s and had connections to Burkell. Barbara notes a quirky detail. Burkell apparently wears the exact same outfit in every public photo, a navy Ralph Lauren polo and jeans. It's like a costume, she says. It keeps things confusing for anyone tracking appearances. Yet mainstream media rarely mentions his name. When Harry and Meghan left the UK in 2020, where did they reportedly stay? Barbara points to Burkell's property in Canada.
He is a celebrity tape broker, Lady C, and this is from a show called Your Mom's House, where he describes a 2018 call from a woman claiming to possess a 4-year-old tape of a Meghan who is about to marry a prince. Apparently, this was filmed by a Florida photographer.
Now the timeline gets even stranger. On July 22, 2016, Meghan posted on Instagram about dinner at home in Toronto with her mom and her fiancé, Corey Vitello, who owns the Flock restaurant chain. By August 2016, a photo appears of Meghan on a yacht in the Caribbean with Heather Doak, Bonita Litt, Misha Nonu, Ariel Charnas, and notably, Karina Juk. Suddenly, questions about where she was and what she was doing start stacking up. Barbara recalls some wild social circles in the past. She was traveling with high-profile friends for years, Barbara says. I recognized people immediately. They were young, and the scene was intense.
This picture has been confirmed that it was taken in August 2016. And I'll tell you who they are, right to left. Heather Dorak, which is the very same girl that was sitting with Meghan Markle and Lindsay Roth. Meghan Markle, Benita Litt, which is the girl with the hat. Misha Nunu, Ariel Charnas, Karina Shuliak, and some unknown lady in August 2016. So I think that Meghan Markle was so happy. I think she went before she met Harry from Toronto. She flew to the Caribbean and then she went.
Some photos reportedly sparked confusion about locations, but investigators clarified the spots were exotic hotspots like St. Bart's. The setting made everything feel high stakes and exclusive. Barbara notes a 2014 trip with her friend Lindsay Roth. Photos surfaced of them in the Caribbean on private yachts and fancy islands, including snaps with the airplane tail code PJWT, a plane that collected elite guests for high-profile destinations. By May 2014, these trips were well documented. Then in August 2016, yachting photos appeared with several well-known socialites, showing just how intertwined these elite circles were. Weeks later, Meghan reportedly met Prince Harry, starting what became a fairy tale romance. Barbara joked, "I hope he had a checkup first because the scene was intense." Barbara also spoke about her own experiences. "I saw high-profile figures often.
We know that Meghan Markle was doing the nasty there with a bunch of people. I am so shocked that Harry is not concerned about his. I hope he had an STD check because this is gross because we know what they were doing in those yachts."
I saw Andrew often, yes. And he was, there was 2 model girlfriends of mine. He was paying for their apartment in New York.
Are you serious?
Yes.
2 model girlfriends of mine were supported with apartments in New York, luxury items, everything you can imagine, she said. These were models from big agencies, sometimes flown in for events and special occasions, always surrounded by wealth and influence. She explained the lifestyle simply, "How are you making all this money and not even working?" The answer, "Oh, he buys me everything. Apartments, clothes, bags, cars, the works." Barbara was shown a photo of a young Prince Andrew. "Yeah, that's how he looked when I saw him," she said. "He was known for partying, attending major social events, and always surrounded by high-profile guests. It was the world I grew up in." Turning back to a legal perspective, Virginia Giuffre's attorney, David Boies, outlined why Meghan could be called to testify in court. He listed 3 reasons.
It was like, how are you making all this money and you're not even working? She's like, oh, he buys me everything. He also went to Heidi Klum's Halloween parties. I've seen him there.
Where?
I think she's involved. Heidi Klum's Halloween parties. He was always there every year.
First, she's in the U.S., so the court has jurisdiction. Second, she was at one point a close associate of Prince Andrew. Third, she could have seen or at least heard about certain events. Boies' statement is careful. She may have seen, may have heard, but she will certainly have some knowledge. Every word in legal statements is strategic. Barbara, whose friend worked for a major foundation, explained, "Legal statements go through countless drafts, 5, 10 people at the table. Every word is calculated. That vagueness, not accidental. It's deliberate." Her takeaway? The way these statements are written, you know there's weight behind every word. Barbara leans in and drops the next bombshell. You think you've seen the full picture? You haven't even scratched the surface, she says. The parties, the yachts, the private events. Everything was organized to the tiniest detail. It was a world built on exclusivity, power, and influence.
Unlike Meghan Markle, who I deeply believe used a surrogate, and she has hidden it. And I'm going to tell you what the difference is between Meghan Markle and the Marquess of Bath, other than class and being a lady, and Meghan is a hoe, is that the Marquess of Bath was open and transparent about this.
She goes on to describe the inner workings of these elite circles. It wasn't just about glamour. There were people making moves, networking, and climbing social ladders. Some guests were flown across the globe just to attend a single dinner or opening night. Barbara recalls specific events where high-profile figures and socialites mingled. I remember one evening at Soho House, London, tables stacked with luxury bottles, celebrities everywhere, and the staff moving like clockwork. If you weren't invited, you couldn't even get close. It was like being inside a movie set. She pauses, shaking her head. And then there were the friendships, the alliances, people who seemed close on the surface. Everyone had a role. Some were connectors, some were guests, some were meant to be seen, but not noticed. That's how the scene worked.
That statement from the lawyer was so smartly worded. It was vague, and it was vague by design. So that's why I think it was a warning to Meghan. If I sit here with my professional PR hat on, looking at that statement, they go through so many drafts, and it's, up to kind of 5-10 people around a table drafting that. Every single word in a legal statement holds weight.
Barbara also clarifies Meghan's role in these circles. She wasn't there to be famous yet. She was part of the crowd, mingling with people who had influence. Sometimes she attended events that were invitation only. Other times, she was just a guest, blending in. But here's the thing, Barbara emphasizes. Once you're in that world, you see things you can't unsee. People talk, rumors fly, and everyone knows the right place to be at the right time. It's a system, a machine, and it doesn't care about anyone who isn't connected. Barbara even shares some behind-the-scenes tidbits from yacht trips and high-profile openings. There's a rhythm to it all. The right guests at the right table, the music, the atmosphere, it's curated chaos. Everyone is watching, everyone is being watched. That's why these events stay in people's memories forever. She notes that social media barely scratches the surface. You see photos online and think you know what happened. Trust me, you don't. Every image, every post is a highlight reel. The real stories?
Born in the United States. And the issue is that there is a Peerage Act involved here. And the Peerage Act of 1963, if I believe, it's the Peerage Act of 1963, clearly states, just like for royalty, that a surrogate cannot be used.
He was infiltrating all the royal families in Europe, and how you infiltrate is through the men. And men, if you have a weak man that loves women, and they test you, they see how far you'll go. And these men are so stupid.
They're in the conversations, the whispers, the private rooms that no camera ever sees. Barbara's insights paint a picture of a world that's glamorous but also calculated. You think it's all fun, but it's not. There's strategy behind every invite, every table, every interaction. If you're not careful, you get swept into it before you even know it. Finally, she adds a cautionary note. People like Meghan were navigating this world carefully. One wrong move, one wrong association, and suddenly everyone is talking. It's a delicate balance, and only those who understand the game survive. Barbara leans back, finishing her thought with a warning that sticks. If you're not ready for the truth behind the doors, the yachts, and the parties, don't try to follow the headlines. There's more than meets the eye. We have your card marked, Barbara says. And it wasn't a request, it was a warning. People magazine ran a story in 2021, and it's still online. But after that...
Do you think that Harry would be aware of it by now with all the scandals and everything that's ongoing? Or do you think he's that dumb?
I think he's that dumb.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say no.
I think he's that dumb. I think he probably, he was at the Diddy parties, but I think he was manipulated by her.
You think so?
Yeah. I think the whole royal family got manipulated. This is bigger than we could ever imagine. There's all these honeypot women, such as Meghan Markle.
Complete silence. No follow-ups, no investigations, nothing. Barbara lays out a bigger picture. These elite circles don't just exist, they're controlled. You get in through connections, through people who have influence. Every country, every family has its own ways of testing newcomers. She adds examples from across Europe. Sweden had Sophia, Norway had Marie, the UK had Meghan, and the men in power, they test everything, see how far someone will go. Some of them are not the sharpest tools in the shed. Barbara is blunt on the royals. Andrew, not smart. Harry, also not smart. By now, I think he got manipulated. And honestly, the whole system around them, it's carefully managed and people get swept up without even realizing it. She sums up her perspective dramatically. There are all these high-profile social women, influencers, celebrities, navigating intense social circuits. For years, photos were scrubbed, witnesses silenced, stories buried. When I went public a year ago, people called me crazy. Now, with the documents and revelations, everything I said is being validated. Jessica Reed Krause has been digging since 2018, gathering every piece of evidence she could find. She promises photos, insider accounts, staff testimonies, and information about the private social circuits. Others, inspired by Barbara, are coming forward too, emboldened to share what they know. Barbara highlights accountability. King Charles took action against Andrew over past scandals. The same standards should apply to anyone if evidence comes forward. Transparency matters. She raises the ultimate question. Does Meghan know too much? Is that why some protection remains in place? The Victoria's Secret supermodel who saw it all has spoken. Jessica's 8-year investigation is about to drop photos, timelines, and insider proof. David Boy's earlier statement confirms that Meghan's legal team believed she had key knowledge. Right now, in Montecito, Barbara says Meghan is reportedly feeling the pressure. The truth, finally, is coming out, and the story is about to explode. Barbara leans forward, voice low but intense. You think this world is all glamour? It's calculated chaos.
As per the Peerage Act of 1963, that child born in the United States from a surrogate is not entitled to anything, inheritance or anything. So she's trying to get that judge to bypass the Peerage's Act of 1963 and kind of grant an injunction or approval.
She explains that every party, every yacht trip, every exclusive event had a purpose. It wasn't just fun, it was testing the players, the connections, who was loyal, who could handle the spotlight, and who could be trusted. She recalls an event at an ultra-exclusive yacht. Tables stacked with bottles, music thumping, the elite walking by. Everyone was watching each other. It wasn't random, it was strategy. You wanted to be in the right place at the right time or you'd be invisible. Barbara drops names carefully, but enough to make it clear high-profile figures, celebrities, influencers, and socialites, all circulating in the same social orbit. These people weren't just hanging out, they were networking, negotiating, building influence, she says. She emphasizes Meghan's role again. She was moving through that world quietly, sometimes a guest, sometimes part of the scene. People underestimate what it takes to navigate that world without getting swept away. Barbara explains that social media only tells half the story. Photos online, they're highlights, curated moments. The real stories, they happen behind closed doors, whispered conversations, and private rooms. That's where the real influence happens. She highlights how investigations and reporting have finally started to catch up. Jessica Reed Krause has been putting together her 8-year investigation. Staff testimonies, event photos, insider accounts, all pieces finally coming together. Barbara adds that more insiders are stepping forward. People see that someone's brave enough to speak and it gives them courage. The tide is turning. She pauses, then delivers a chilling observation. Anyone thinking this is all drama and gossip is wrong. There's a system, a hierarchy, and people who break the rules or get in over their heads feel the consequences fast. That's why Meghan and others have been careful for years. Barbara concludes with a warning that raises the stakes. The truth doesn't stay hidden forever. Every secret, every invitation-only party, every hidden meeting. Eventually, it all adds up. The world sees the patterns, and people can't deny the connections. Finally, she delivers a line that hits like a headline. If you thought you knew the story, think again. The next wave of revelations is coming, and it's going to change how people see these exclusive circles forever. If you watch this and have thoughts, drop them in the comments below. If this breakdown made you see things differently, hit subscribe and stay locked in for more deep dives like this. Don't forget to like the video and share it with someone who needs to see it.